Well, good to see you again. It's springtime in the northern hemisphere, which means things are growing and changing. That's typically what happens when the increasing day length creates warmth and vitality in the outer world. So I'm changing along with it. We're announcing, well, about three new programs or series that you can participate in to your delight, or you can just observe. One of them is called The Large and the Small, or The Tiny and the Immense, The Grand and the Cute, whatever you want. It's just going to be a series about small and large. May not sound important, but from my perspective, it's everything. So we'll go into this and describe the large and the small. Program number one. Program number two is a body series. And we're going to go through the human body and correspond all the different parts of the human body to different probable emotional content. Meaning that we're going to go through, for example, the very first one we'll do is skin. And we'll go through skin patterns, what they represent, where they are on the body, the hands, the face, the back, the front. And we're going to talk about the correspondence of the skin as it relates to feelings and the experience of the soul in the body. And then we'll go right through all the body systems and the corresponding feelings, lessons, opportunities in that place. Now, part of that will be the opportunity for you to participate as a case study. For example, if you have a condition on your skin in a particular location, no matter where it is, that's long term. Say you have a skin tag right on your left hip. It's been there all of your life, and you wonder why there is a birthmark in that location on your body. So we're going to go through a skin series, and you're invited to ask us questions about the skin that's yours. Now, I'm going to ask you to keep these case studies to yourself, or maybe your children. Please don't include your mother-in-law for now, or please maybe not include your mate unless you have their sincere desire to want to participate. So we'll set this up where you have the opportunity to take a picture of your own hand or hands and say, look, I've got this spot. Maybe I can find one for you here. I've got this one spot that is on my finger right now, right there. I have a little spot. You probably can't see it very well. It's just a little tiny spot on the outside. To me, this is a specific feeling that I'm still denying. Yes, every single mark on your body is about a memory somewhere in your soul, either directly experienced by you or by someone else in your family tree, and it is currently likely affecting you. So you're given the opportunity to ask simple questions. If you have more significant questions like, I need surgery in my left knee, and you have pain in your left knee and you want to ask about left knee, then you can ask us about the left knee and we'll give you somewhat of the probable location and its emotional content. You might have a arthritic condition in the top of your index finger on your right hand, and you want to know about that. We'll describe the probable experience and the feelings that are being denied. So large and small, series number one. Series number 2 having to do with the body. Later on, we'll go through all the body organs down to a smaller and smaller minutia. Hence, we'll get smaller in the process. So case studies about the body. I'm asking you to supply those. I'll help you go through it. There's no cost for this intervention, and it is public. You're not required to give your name or anything about you other than the information we need to resolve the situation in some form or another. We'll give you clues. Now, at the same time that we're doing this, we're suggesting to other people there's something to be gained about the study of the skin. There is something to be gained about the container of the body called the skin. And for me, that is the large container of all of the smaller units inside of us, down to the DNA function and all the minerals that compose the DNA. So tiny and large. We're going to go through it through the physical body and through the cosmos. So it's something like this. We're going to do a tiny and a large. This is just a illustration of the theory about the Big Bang, which they're beginning to question whether or not the Big Bang is true or not. But this principle of the small and the progressively larger, this is essentially what we're going to be talking about. We're talking about how this is an entry point into the all. So the large and the small. So this is part of that lecture about the large and the small. But the same thing is true inside the body. We're going to go inside individual blood cells, open them up, and basically look at something like this, which is something inside the blood cell. This is a photo of a mitochondria. Then later we go inside the mitochondria, open it up, and we look at the probable molecules and the existences of the dynamics of light entering the infrared the small and the large. So that's part of the series. The physical body form, we talk about each part of the physical body, the bones, the nerves, the ovary, the testicles, the hips. We go all the way through the body systems, and then we correspond any symptoms that anybody might have in that location. If you're a practitioner and you want to do a case study because somebody has breast cancer in the left breast, then yes, you can supply us with a case study about any condition, but we'll primarily need some information. I'll just give you the location and explain to you the probable feelings that correspond to the physical body in that location, to give you the clues. Now, the advantage of this is it's basically about ringing bells. For example, I like something like this. We are all composed of this. We have very small waves and we have larger waves, the small and the large. Now, if I'm capable of coming into the small, I can change everything that's coming out into the large. Now, that's an odd statement. If you want to have control over the existence of your own reality, if you want to have a greater impact into the experience of how life progresses, you need to become small. To learn how to enter into the emanating point that now manifest as vibrational waves that now express the body symptoms. So all of the body symptoms that you're having or have forgotten about or made numb is a result of the need to occupy the small. By that, for me, the small is a pinpoint. So it's like this. If you look at this picture again, it is how to enter into the point that now influences and impacts everything around you, including the entire universe, the small and the large. Now, my suggestion is learn to go back and forth. By the way, you do that with every breath. Inhale, exhale. You're going small and large all the time. You do it with every breath. You do it with every heartbeat. Thump, 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 thump. Did I mention thump and thump? Yes, you're doing it all the time. So to become aware of that, the function of the small looks like this. This happens to be the two places in the heart, the ventricle node and the arterial node. This is thump and this is thump. This is thump, 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 thump. This is the whole universe, large and small, thump, thump. I'm suggesting to you to learn to practice coming down inside the space in between them. Small, large. Kind of strange, I realize, but it also looks a little bit like this. This place here is affecting everything that you put out in your vibrational body, your spirit body, and the spirit body. All of this is contained within a field. If you look behind this, you see a dark field. Behind all of this is something very large. If I go here and learn to dilate this, you find out this is the place where your will works. That's why it's important. You want to have some degree of determination about your outcome? Get very small. Because all of this other one is huge. And it's going to be feeding back to you exactly the repercussions of the choices made here. If there are no choices made here, it's just operating automatically, and it's just basically called living, and most people just live until this hammering makes it difficult for them to walk or breathe or function, and they pass. Live, get small. So in this process, every time we get small and we go out, we produce an accumulation of energy that now affects the subtle body systems like the meridians that run in the fingers and the toes. And all of these are leaving marks all over the skin and body all the time. For example, I have a mark on my left elbow, which is a surgical scar. I won't bother to show you in the moment, for when I had surgery when I was 15. It's a mark on my skin. It's also a memory, not only of the event, but of this part of the family tree that corresponds to the left arm and all of the appropriate information about what that really means, where it came from in my family tree, what gland, what organ, what body system. It's a lot of information. So this is where we're going. How the body is affected by the memory of all of this in our genetics, and then how to be able to ultimately learn how to change it. Now, one of the things we do is we give you a suggestion about how to make the first step into the small. For those of you who've seen this before, this is an illustration that I don't completely like, but it's the best one I have right now. that illustrates what we call the protocol. The protocol has these 3 diameters to them. There are 3 colors, the blue and the pink and the white, and they're all reflected down to the heart. I'm suggesting that the doorway into the small has to do with where all 3 of these are pointed. If you draw a line all the way through the white one, through the pink one, through the blue one, you're coming down to someplace in here. I don't know exactly where the spot is, but I'm pretty sure it's in here somewhere. For years, I used to practice it in a different location. Here's just another view. Here's the view, and you'll see these 3 different wave patterns of size. These are the same 3 as I was describing before, of the large coming into the small. These 2, by the way, are the thymus. In small children, they're not separated, they're connected, and they're at least half, if not 2/3 of the heart. The thymus in small children covers the heart by about half to 2/3. In adults, it separates, gets very small, and it's pretty sad when it's gone. This is the place we're going to, small and large. So what we've done is say, look, practice coming inside the small. Now, if I were to say to you the size of the small, right now I'm experimenting with a pinpoint. It may be something like this. Large, small. Now, if this were the center of the heart, and maybe it even looked something like this, this is the same place. Vertical axes, horizontal axes, small, tiny point. If you see in the background, that's the large. The black background, by the way, it's not really black. It only looks black to us because we don't yet have the light to be able to see it. Small, large. Now, the very cool thing that I found in the last couple of months is that the large, strangely enough, is already complete. I mean, it's doing what it needs to do. The large is profoundly large. And it doesn't need me to do anything. That's a whole nother subject, but the large and the small. The cool thing is occupying the small gives you the greatest capacity to stand in the middle and to influence everything that's coming. The large is still there, but this small is my personal vehicle. So in a situation like this, why I have a picture like this, is I want to direct my attention inside the vehicle that would correspond to my own iris, and this is not my iris. I want to be able to have a tactile relationship, meaning a kinesthetic touching experience of the interior mechanism that's mine. Wow. I know that sounds odd, but this is where I want to occupy the fingerprint of my own existence. Now, the fingerprint that's mine is not yours. It's not anyone else's. My fingerprint is my fingerprint. It won't ever be occupied by you. That's just my opinion. You can be you, I can be me, and then yet we can touch skin. We can touch. So the innermost experience is, do I sincerely want to dilate my small? Meaning, if you go back to this other image, do I want to come in the middle of this and have a direct influence on everything I'm putting out, known or unknown to me? Now, what we seldom realize is that we're actually putting out more things than we know. We're constantly engaged in emanating, transmitting, projecting, or denying thousands of things, most of which were already set in place by somebody else, meaning your parents, your genetics, your family tree, your society, your race, your continent. All of that was part of that which was endowed. Now, I need to step inside of this and have a sincere desire to want to occupy it. Nobody else can occupy it. God will not occupy it. Sorry, you can try to surrender it and they'll give it right back. Yeah, I've tried many times. Here, you take it. No. They want you to occupy it. How do you occupy the centermost point of your individuality, where your free will, your discretionary experience is really yours? For now, you don't have a discretionary opportunity to tell the universe what to do. This part you do. So this is the small and the large. The very cool thing about the large is it's really large. Now, mathematically, if I were to give you the mathematical probability of how small this is, and I've been playing with the number, and I know it's strange to think of mathematically playing with a number that's small, and if I might use this one for a moment, what is my number versus the all? And by the way, for now, and I'm sure I need a couple of more, well, I need a little time. I think it's 0.04. And that only means in the 0.04, we all exist. On the rest of it, the 99.99.6 going down to the 0.4, this is where you and I occupy. If we want to have access to this higher function, oh, by the way, this is only one very small thread of one physical universe. And later on, the small 0.04, it could be 0.004, but it's small. The very cool thing about that is 99.96 of the rest of the universe is beautiful. Light. The only place where darkness dwells is in that 0.04. I need to occupy my place inside of that 0.04. In order to occupy my place, it's not an easy thing, because to go inside of it requires that I have the tactile sensitivity of a baby's fingers with a baby's breath combined with a baby's innocence. To get really inside of it, not an easy thing to do. No, I'm trying. I'm relentless every day, but I can't get there. To become like a small child, go to the small, because it's innocent, it's sincere, it's kind, it's it's caring, it's awake, it's alive. This is my personal vehicle. Can I occupy my personal vehicle? And part of that is realizing that, my vehicle, if I use that metaphor for a moment, it's like I'm driving around, but I've got 25 to 35 people in the back seat. And those are only the ones who are biochemically, genetically related as family, siblings, grandchildren, grandparents, whoever they are. All of them have a direct influence into continuing to influence me. And there's a very strong influence coming from the genetics of your family tree, at least 4 generations, if not many, many more. Not an easy thing. You're driving your vehicle while being constantly influenced by everybody else's unfinished business. How does it arrive, one of these waves? Some of them are very big and maybe don't come very often. Some of them come all the time. These waves, hour by hour, week by week, month by month, season by season, year by year, they keep rolling through. My job is to get on my tricycle, my vehicle, and gradually remove what's not mine, put there by somebody else, and what is truly my responsibility to occupy. How to drive without making it bumper cars. So this now is the law of attraction. How to get into the car? Not an easy thing to do. Because inside the small is, sorry, you're going to have to occupy your body. So I'm not an anatomical freak of any kind. I like to see the human body. And some of the new 3-dimensional graphics of anatomy are utterly astoundingly beautiful. Some of them are free, some of them cost money, but you can go look at anatomy of the body and pull up individual vertebrae, and you can look at nerves, and you can see it 3-dimensionally above and below. Know your body. May not seem important to you, and I'm not a physically aware person about the body, but I study all the body systems, all the glands, all the organs, and even the nutritional components, the genetics, the molecules that affect all of that, the small. So I'm suggesting that learning to practice the small gives you access to the large. And oh, by the way, the large, whatever you want to call it, wants to help you. So when you have a desire to enter the small, you don't have to do it all alone. You can ask for the large to show you the wave patterns that you are transmitting that are making it difficult for you to occupy your own soul. That sounds like a lot, but you can be guided to what specific feelings are exactly the feelings you need to feel today. Oh, by the way, they're happening every day. You don't even have to ask because here they come. But most people don't realize it's happening all the time. But if you make a sincere desire to want to go inside, then you'll set in motion things that move faster. Now that may sound like a lot because, for example, if you do something like this and you stand in the middle of your father and your mother's family and you say, show me the things in my father and my mother that I'm still dealing with. Most people say, "Oh, I'm done dealing with my father. I'm done dealing with my mother. My relationship to my mother's fine now. She's dead." Mine is, by the way, and my father. People have a tendency to ignore the power of this location inside your mother and your father, and that's still influencing my own ability to make a decision. So show me all the interferences that are happening to me now, and it starts to arrive. This is part of the process. So I'm suggesting that we're going to go through step by step these three different parameters of large and small, the body symptom functions, and the law of attraction, designed to show you how this is circulating. That sounds like a lot because, well, kind of it is, but I challenge you to do this. Consider the smallest thing that you're aware of, no matter whether it's in science and subatomic particles. Feel it. And then what is the largest thing you're aware of, whether it's in your senses of seeing starlight from billions of light years away? How large is your large? How small is your small? And then when you come back to your small, just build a desire to want to be your actual true self. This is where the information is going. So do your best, and if you're ready to ask a question about a body symptom, a pain, a law of attraction event, just either send it along to me privately if you want, or do it publicly, just post it. And if you provide the information where it is, or a photo, or this, or a symptom, or a name of some condition that you're going through, and we'll do our best to ring the bell. Now, the advantage is ringing the bell to me looks like this. Say that you present us with a pain in your right knee, and it's about you. But anybody who's in the program, it's also their law of attraction. Now, if somebody in the program from another part of the world is observing this case study about your right knee, they're involved in the process too. Not only are they involved in it because they can be affected by it, but they can also be the effective part of helping you resolve it. I won't explain all that for now, but if you have a symptom and you're willing to share it internationally, globally, other people watching the program can help to move the fibers and the threads of your own existence. You don't have to do this alone. Yes, you'll experience it by yourself, but other people can help you go through it, even if they make a suggestion about a vitamin, a mineral, an herb, a flower essence that might help you. If they suggest a feeling or a piece of music or a movement or a posture or a dance, even if they just have compassion for your condition, it's going to help you, it's going to help them, it's going to help everyone else. Consider it. This is where we're going. I hope this helps you, serves you. Talk to you soon. Thanks for coming.